Hey all, Gray back again with episode 5. The Desert is Your Friend. Satisfactory. Good game. I keep getting to a point where I want to record, and I start recording, and then either I get interrupted by a phone or whatever, and I don't edit my videos, so when people come in and start talking, it messes it up. But we'll get through this segment quickly. As you can see, I've done some changes. Okay, we now have coal. Okay, we got coal over here. I did not research coal power because I knew where that was. I'm tied into 3 coal veins over there. And right now, what we need to do is double up our supply. And to do that is very simple. If you're running your factory with more than 3 miners. Boy, I got a brain fart there and couldn't get rid of it. You'll really need to run a double row out to your coal, and you need to be hooked up to at least 2 normal modes of iron. Because you're going to burn that much coal and you're going to go through a lot of iron ore. So we're going to run out here to the iron, or not the iron ore, but the coal deposit. And this is a really good deposit in the desert, and I hope you're watching the screen where we're going. I'm intentionally running out there so that you can see where it's at. And you notice every once in a while my frame stutters. Some people in the game think that is lag or whatever. It's not. It's your game save. Game save will actually make you stutter for 1 millisecond or half a second, and it's sometimes very aggravating because you'll be in the middle of looking at something and you turn away and it didn't turn away. There's another slug off to the right. But you see all my little windmills out here? We're making 70 megawatts of power, and we're only using 36 with Miner Mark IIs. We've gone to the Miner Mark II. We've gotten the bigger storage can, and we're putting a double row. If you see how I hook this up, I've got each miner running into each can, and then your storage container is going to be a double row into 2 conveyors. And this is how it's hooked up back here. I got 1 high shot. Just makes it easier to get around the can if you put it in the top. But we got 3 Miner Mark IIs on 3 deposits. This one is a prime or pure. These 2 are normals. Like I said, the desert has really good resource nodes. You just gotta hunt them out. Okay. Now, we've hooked in again. This is our octopus coming in to our mergers, and this is our outbound. When you allow all 3 into cans, you're gonna have a little backup, okay, like this. That's good, because then you know you're putting a full stream out of your main conveyor. There's guys that'll say, "Oh man, just hook up the miners to the mergers and just send it on." No. Do not do that. Your miners will back up until they're full. When they're full, they'll stop. There is no backup production that you can use if you don't store some. And I do this on copper, I do it on limestone, I do it on every resource. I always put down one of these 2 tall containers and fill it straight off of the miner. I may put the container at the base, I may put a container at the miner and put another one at the base, so I've got double storage. You want that, okay? Because when you get to the higher level conveyors, you can outrun a miner Mark III. And miner Mark IIIs are expensive to build, but the conveyor that comes off of them can outrun them. In other words, it can pull it away from it faster than it can cut it. So that's why the sludge containers are there. And that's their true term. Sludge or slush or whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, there's our second conveyor line, which I started on a little while ago, and I put the top rails in, so all we had to do is really run the conveyor, and we're going to do that now. And that's just, you know, turn it blue, click it, run down here, line it up, hit it again, run down here, hit it again, and you get the idea. Okay, so I'm going to finish this out, and we'll talk about something else also at the same time. Everybody freaks out about the desert because they say it's so hard to survive out here. Trick to surviving in the desert is get off the ground. Building elevated such as I have, I'm trying to show you the easy way. I'm running over the top of several bad dudes. Okay, there's quite a few of them down there. There's one on that node right there. I know there is. And that's another iron deposit. And I believe that one is a pure. So you can actually come out here, add a third tier to your stackable conveyor stack, and bring iron also to supplement your 2 normals that you're filling off of over by where your steel production is. Now we're making steel, we've gone to the Mark III on the conveyor belt, because I researched it, and I'm doing what I can to get my steel production set to where I can do what I want to do, and that is make stators, rotors, motors, things to that effect. Once you get your steel going and you're in good shape, and if you notice, I've enlarged the base. I brought it out another 15 squares from the space elevator. Left the space elevator sitting in the middle, and you can, don't be afraid to take things apart, because bag of cement for bag of cement, iron ingot for iron ingot, you get everything back, and you get it back in the parts that you use to build it. So when you want to set it back down, it's going to be there. And like, well, let's do this. I'm going to show you, because I really want to move that space elevator because it is in the way. I want to build my factory out around it. Take all your junk and take out some of that. No, we don't need that, because we're going to just reposition it. Nothing in my inventory. Okay? Positive proof. Nothing in my inventory. The only thing I got is my bug killer. Go over here, press F, and you see what's in it. Take it apart. Takes a while for it to come down. It's a cute little animation of it taking it apart. It's not throwing the items at you, which that'd be cool too, because it threw the items at it when it was building it. I'm going to set it out here in the desert because I really, really, really don't have to hook up to it for a while. Go up here, space elevator, blah. It doesn't want to set there. It'll set there. So we'll just set it there for now. Now, you notice I set it on it. Resource node. I don't care because those are impure. Here comes the space elevator shaft. I never get tired of this. The siren's going off that it's coming down. Takes a little while. The proboscis is coming down to be caught. Sparks flying because there's steel rubbing against steel. It grabs a hold of it. Center shaft goes into the center and it yanks it down and locks. And all of the steam lets off from all the pressure holding it and relaxes. So your space elevator's back where it's functional. We're going to start building some project parts for it, which we can still hit the intakes, which are right there. And if we want, we can pick it up and spin it. Everybody screams, oh, you're not going to be able to set it back down because you already set it down once. No. In this game, whatever you pick up, you can put right back down. You get all your junk back. Which is, you know, a lot of games is not like that. This one is part for part. You get it all. Pick up that container. Our inventory's back full. Done. Okay, we moved the space elevator. Now we cleared up all that area to use. This is our steel production. I've got 5 foundries running full blast into 3 constructors making beams. Okay. I added another one in just a little bit ago because it wasn't filling these guys up. I wanted to make a little extra because I'm going to put one off the end over here making pipe. Just one. Don't need a lot of pipe in this game. You need pipe for making stators and that's about it. Not a lot of pipe being used. Oh, one thing I did want to we can do that right now. We're going to do that. Let's see. A constructor, turn it orange in toward you, because remember, orange is in, green is out. Okay, here's a little trick. You already got a conveyor in place right here. Well, if it's not really bent, and I was hoping it would fit right there, you can actually throw a merger into that, or a splitter, as long as it's straight or semi-straight. But we don't have that luxury. But what we can do is this right here. Pick it up, grab you a splitter, aim it at your targets. Your biggest target is coming out of the box, and your second biggest is the other splitter. Getting it into the constructor is fairly easy. Okay, I mean, it's just hook it up. And yes, your conveyors do not have a collision problem. You can go right straight through a light pole like I did. I mean, I clipped that light pole. Okay, and you're back in business. And you're feeding your constructors on that side. Now here's another little trick. You don't want to starve your other constructors while you're filling up the constructor that you're going to use for pipe. So grab a few brick ingots and set it to pipe, and take and double click a stack. Now it's full. Go back over here, get rid of those excess. That constructor's full. Now it needs power, which is really nice because we got a power pole right in the backyard here. Give it power and it'll start making pipe. Seems you know you're going to be making rotors and you're going to need plenty of this. Or not rotors, but stators. I would set down a can and let it fill it, or at least get started on filling it. There you go. Now you're making pipe. And you're still using the 5 foundries to run 4 constructors. Now pipe does not take as many as beams, so it won't really kill your production over here to run that 5th or 4th one. These 3 are going to pump out nothing but beams, which I have them pumping out pipe at the same time, but now they're pumping out just beams, and believe me, you're going to go through a lot of them. Make another stack of 500, take a stack of 500 and hit sort. And we've only got 816 pipe, so we got enough pipe to make containers and stuff there anyway. I did pick up a hard drive off of one of the wrecks. You'll find crash sites all over the place. Remember I showed you what it looked like in episode 1. Grab those hard drives. You know, once you can make the parts that open it up, some of them ask for 20 rotors, some of them ask for modular frames, some of them ask for motors. Sometimes the part it asks for is laying on the ground around it somewhere. And I found that to happen a couple of times. Most of the time it's not. But sometimes when it asks for the part, you know, it's going to do that. But here we are. We've completed. Let's get rid of this. Tired of looking at it. Done.
A message from the refined R&D brand.
And you can hit enter and shut her up. Now we got that one closed out. See, we were in 1 and 2 before. We completed all the tasks in 1. We've got a few tasks in 4 or 2 to do, and I've opened up 3 and 4. Now 4, I've already upgraded the conveyors. I've already upgraded steel production to advanced steel production. We did steel production here, and that gave me the foundry. And then you go to advanced steel production, and that gives you all these goodies. This is stuff you're going to need to go to the next level anyway. Then you've got hyper tubes, and of course you've got more slots. Now I probably got enough to make that. I need more wire and cable. Let's go see if we got more wire and cable that's made. Should have a whole container of wire. Copper's all the way down here. And this is cable, because I put a constructor down and split off for cable. Yeah, we got 500. Put that in to make a better stack. Pick up a second stack, because we're going to need it. And we've got a little bit of wire in there, but look at this. See, this is where you're smart. You put a splitter in, and one of your wire goes this way and one goes that way. And that gives you a full container full of wire. Okay? Freaks people out when I do stuff like that, but that's the fastest and easiest way to do something. And I like to carry 2 or 3 bundles, sometimes more. I need 1,500, so I want to pull 1,500 spare, my 2. And I've filled up my inventory. Nope, I got enough to grab a 3rd one. So now I won't run out. Alright. Let's go back over to the hub and close that one out. So we get some more slots and a better basher. This is things you want to do. Anytime you see slots like this, okay, this is the improved Xeno Basher. Gives you further reach and a little bit more power. Pretty good tool. Okay, and it's worth getting it. You get five more inventory slots, and then you get a hand slot. So this is how you make them go. You hit your first one. You notice these are checking off up here. And wire. Cable. And there's no, they haven't changed this since Christmas, so sorry.
Milestone reached. R&D inflated your pocket dimension, added an additional hand equipment slot, and have provided an improved Xeno Zapper with increased strength and range.
A better to Xeno Whacker. It's a Xeno Basher. Now, you can do the bounce pads, or you can do the Awesome Sink. The Awesome Sink and the Awesome Store are, like I said, one of the things you want. So let's do the Awesome Sink and the Awesome Shop. I'll show you what those are. Probably got what I need to kill that off. Concrete. Wait a minute. Iron rods. Steel plates. We got what we need to get that. Because it's only asking for 500 copper wire. And it's asking for 400 concrete. We've got 2,500. Yeah, we got plenty. Once that comes back down, and the clock says it'll be back in about a minute and a half, because if you notice underneath your milestone, like on mine, it's got a clock. That's when it returns. And I mean, we can stand here and wait for it, be bored, or we can look around a little bit, which is what I want to do. Okay, we built a workshop over here, and we've got the craft table there in the hub. But on the other end of the base down there, I built another workshop and another craft table. You want to do this usually at the corners of your base. One, it saves you from having to run all the way back to the hub to use a craft table. And if you need miners, beacons, which reminds me, I need to make a take off that part. I need to make an object scanner. I need screws. Okay. Let's go get a stack of screws. Oh, he's back. We're going to postpone the screws for a second. Now when he docks up, you'll be able to put the items in. Until he docks up, you won't. Voila. Wire. Rods. And plates. And we're going to send him off again. Now we get to make the resource sink.
Milestone reached.
The resource sink
You have been
is
given early access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on exoplanets bonus program. Funneling parts into the awesome resource sink, depending on their amount and complexity, will grant you coupons in the awesome store, which can be exchanged for bonus rewards. Examples of bonus content are parts, walls, factory attachments, and cosmetics. Fix-It is working hard to develop additional options, which will be added to the awesome store in the future. Go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
There's the awesome sink. There's the awesome store. The awesome shop takes a few screws, some plates, and some cable to put down. And what she was talking about, there's walls, windowed walls, door walls, conveyor belt walls, where you can run a conveyor in one side and out the other, and you don't have to have a big gaping hole in your base. This is more of enhancements. Okay. Foundations. This is one of the first ones I get. This is the second one, and you'll see why as time goes on. Vehicles, this guy's cute. Not worth 10 coupons at the beginning. Later on, if you've got extra coupons, you want to buy it. This is real useful. The catwalks, they are definitely worth it. Railings work out really good when you're doing multi-levels. The ladder is a must. The ladder helps you get up rock faces and all kinds of junk. Statues, if you get enough points, yeah, knock yourself out. I've never bought one because I don't believe in spending my money like that. You can buy stacks of beacons, or you can buy the coffee cup's cool because you can equip it and suck on a coffee cup when you're standing still. You can buy parts, you can buy biomass, wire, minerals, regular parts. Whatever you can make, you can buy. And we can make motors now, so we could actually buy these parts. But a little small hint. Whatever you shove into the awesome sink, you really, 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 really want to make sure you can afford to get rid of, because you don't get it back. And we're going to do a 1-for-1 because I'm making concrete like mad now. So we're going to build a little pad out here. And we're going to grab the awesome sink. Make sure you turn this thing the right way. Where the orange door is forward. I've set it down 2 or 3 times with it facing away from me and to pick it up. Now you want a splitter. Here's where I'm going to show you how you can throw one in line. Throw a splitter in here, and just for shits and giggles, I'm going to throw one there, one there, one there. Now you built that and you're like, wait a minute, I'd like to save parts that I want to keep. Okay, I'm going to do a 1-for-1. This is going to be my new concrete container. In other words, I want this to fill up and just be my concrete container. But you say, where can I hook it up? Go to your build menu, grab a splitter, and if you aim right onto the conveyor belt, see how I aim onto the conveyor belt and it snaps to it? Ding. Now I'm snapped to it. 1, 2. I'm snapped to it, and it's now feeding the awesome sink. And once I put power to it, it's going to chew this up. But the splitter splits 1-for-1. In other words, one goes one way, one goes the other. And if you get a third leg, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to have half my concrete. I actually want one of those with just 2 on it. And we're going to check our power before we do this. Oh, our power is looking really good. We're only using 200. So now let's hook power to it. Now it starts grinding. All the parts that are going into it are being destroyed. But you are getting coupons. Okay? Right now, the best one when you're first starting out is concrete. You get 13 points and it brings your coupons up pretty quick. But if you do it 1 for 1, you can leave this here, ignore it forever, and just let it chew concrete. And it's only chewing 50%. It's not eating it all. Because you see the other lines going into that container just as fast as it's going in the awesome sink. And you're not going to lose anything. Once that container gets full, it'll all go in the awesome sink. And you make more points. But this is passively making points. And you're not losing a lot of material. I know guys that'll sit there and, oh, I need more concrete. Well, that's fine. Need more concrete? Little switch down there. Shut it off. Once you shut it off, it all goes over there to the container. Okay? But when you turn it off, you can't collect your tickets, so you'll have to turn it on for a minute. We want it to make a few tickets for us. So, I need to speed this up a lot. Et tout voilà, c'est Henry. Henry says, et tout voilà. See? See, so see. Now we're feeding out of the machines as fast as we're taking it out of the box. And we're feeding into the awesome sink in another container. And we have a loop set up to make us points and concrete. Copper's running quite well. Sped up the line over here to where iron production rods and plates is doing very well. And we have a little excess. The line's running very clean coming off of our smelters. We got plenty of product coming in from that pure node, and where's it at? It's over here. That pure node. That one's a pure and that one's a pure. They're both pure iron. And I have not upgraded their I had to think for a second. They're miners. I haven't upgraded their miners nor their conveyor belt, so we're going to do that together. We need a few of these modules. Modular frames and rotors in the second set of tiers is used quite a bit. So you're going to need these. And if you see heavy modular frame over here in the build menu, you need a few of them too. And that's later on. But you're going to have those to build quite a few different things. So you better get used to making them. And you're going to have to up your screw production and your rod production and your iron production and your it's a cascading effect. Every time you upgrade, you want to upgrade everything. And that's what we're doing. And I want to make about 40 of these cages. Just takes a minute. And we have 15 portable miners, so we really don't need any of those. We need to go get some screws. Actually, we did. There's screws in my inventory. Okay. This is the object scanner. We're going to make one. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to make a couple of beacons just so you guys can see what they do. Beacons are handy. And if you work your acronyms, it's lunchtime. Beer nuts. Now that just went into your inventory. I call them beer nuts or burl nuts. I call them beer nuts. Why not? If you pay attention to what you're doing, you can have a ball in this game, just upgrading. We got a Mark 1 sitting here. I love the animations on that. Carries pipe up and down that rod, and it drills and drills and drills and drills and drills, but the bit never gets no deeper than there. Doesn't make sense to me, but the bit never gets any deeper than that cup. Hello, fatty. Yes, they wander around out here too. I don't know how they eat because there's nothing to eat. They must starve out here. Same with the goats and the other ones. I don't know. There's nothing out here to eat for them. I guess that's why the littler ones attack you. Because they're hungry for meat. Okay, now let's go build a miner Mark II. Do we have enough junk to do it with? Yes, we do. Now here's a trick. If this, scroll up to this once. If this is full, when you upgrade it, it's going to throw all that into your inventory. Okay? So when you upgrade it, instantly pop out of that, pop into that, and drop that back in its inventory. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with iron ore until you get back to base. And you don't want to be packing around a ton of iron ore. Now, it's a level 2. We got to get rid of it as fast as it's making it. Otherwise, it's going to run and shut down. Right? And when it gets to 500, there it goes. It's shut down. And then it'll cycle up, down. And it's not doing much. Okay? We want it to run all the time. So, we start upgrading its conveyor belt. It was a Mark 1. Well, we're going to make it a Mark 3. In other words, it's going to pump out some parts or some iron ore. And notice I'm not picking up iron ore when I replace conveyor belt. It's only when you replace the miner. And you'll also notice that lift is only a Mark II or Mark 1. Replaces right in place, just like it did before. And that container up there must be full, because we're not taking it very fast. And if the container's full, we got another job to do. So let's replace this lift to a faster one. And we'll replace this out for a ways. But we really want to go up there and check what's going on. Ah, there's the log jam. And its container is full. How can we fix this, you ask? Very simply, watch this. Set down a new container over here for your junk. Grab pipes and beams, because that's all you need. Okay. Now, pick it up here, pick it up here, and pick it up there. Grab a big container, set it pretty much close to where it was. That should work. Before you throw anything back in it, make sure you can connect to it, because we set it a little too far back, or I did. I set it a little far back from what it should be. Okay, so now I gotta pick it up, set another one down, only this time we'll set it 2 clicks over. And it works. Okay, simple as that. Pick it up. Now we need that one into there. And now we're cooking with gas. Take your inventory, hold down control, click, and all of it goes in there. So now you have a container that's not all the way full, but it's got plenty of iron ore. This one over here is going to be a little more difficult, but I'll show you the easier way to do it. Okay. Pick up the belt, pick up the container, pick up the elevator. You got to. Unfortunately, you have to. If you've got the elevator running into it and it's sitting on the edge, there's no way you're going to reconnect to it. I've tried it. I don't know why it won't do it. That's something that is kind of frustrating. Set it back where it was. Get out your tool. Hook it back up. And fill it back up. Now, one thing you're lucky of is you've got plenty for your forges to run on, or your smelters to run on, until you get the line hooked back to it, which we haven't really upgraded its miner or any of that, so we need to go do that anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump, pick this up, because it's got all our junk in it, remember? Run down the ramp, about that far off the ramp, just fall down. Now you've got a conveyor out here that's going nowhere. And we've got a container up there that doesn't have anything running into it. Now you want to hit the bottom one, bring it down, and you use your mouse wheel to turn that. And we don't want it sticking in the sand. We don't want our iron ore to be dirty. Take it out here and hook it up. Now it's running. Take a second for it to get there, but it takes off and goes. Okay. Now we've got a bigger container up there, so we've got a bigger stockpile. And we've got a bigger container there, so we've got a bigger stockpile. But we didn't upgrade the rest of this conveyor. So let's go do that right now. hit the conveyor. If it will turn blue, that means you need to replace it. And it's a little blue, and we're replaced all the way to the top. Okay, now our miner Mark 1 will empty out. And this is if you don't feel like picking them up and slamming them down like I do. I mean, just let it run lower. You can even let it run out if you want to stand here and watch it run out. Me, I got better things to do. Go to building miner Mark 2. Stick it there. Put what leftovers were in it and let it start cooking. And it'll start making pretty quick. I mean, you're not going to run out of ore running back toward base. Not even close. And if you notice, it almost keeps up with that conveyor. Almost. Now, something I also wanted to talk about. Power shards. The power shard you throw in here, and this little slider right here, I can actually slow down production. Notice how I slowed down how many times that little green line runs across? There, it's very prevalent. It looks like a miner Mark 1. Okay? You can, this is 150%, this is 200%, and this is 250%. Also realize power consumption goes up every time you throw a shard in. So if you don't have the power, don't be throwing a bunch of shards in. You get those from the slugs. I'm going to slow it down again, because we're going to empty it out. And we're going to let it go all the way dry, which shouldn't take a second or two, because that conveyor belt's pretty quick. But I've noticed that sometimes if you leave these inventories full, now there's no way to put product onto a conveyor belt unless you use a container or a machine. You can't put it on there by hand. You can take it off, but you can't put it on there by hand. You always got to stick it in a machine that's got it in its reference point. And there we go. It's almost empty. When it gets empty, we'll just speed it right back up. And it's empty. Speed it up. And that's almost a full conveyor belt. There's a little gap in between them. Not real bad. When you get the Mark III, you got to have a real fast conveyor to keep up with the Mark III miner. But now we have ore coming in by the ton from these two. And if you get too much, this is why I love the bigger containers. If you get too much in this container, or you're not feeding it fast enough, you can always use those. That's a second set of hookups. You can run over here and bring a splitter over, put it on a tower, and then run a conveyor belt down through here. And let's say that your foundries down here are starving for steel. You can bring it down the side of your factory and run it down here and run it to your smelter and drop it in its box, or just drop it right into its main line, and that'll help your making down here, which those two normals are really doing a good job of keeping up, so I don't see that being a problem. If it were a problem, all I'd do is just add some more miners in down here and impure nodes to add to the production. Okay? So the desert's your friend, because it does have wind all the time. Okay, I've never seen my windmill stop. So, this is the desert and it's evening and the sun's going down. And that also means that we're coming to the close of this episode. If you learned something, if I've helped you, anything like that, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure that you hit the bell, because if you don't hit the bell, you won't see new content being put out. And make sure it says all. Also, when you subscribe, please check your subscription at least once every 2 or 3 months. YouTube has this thing about knocking off subscriptions. I've lost a couple of times, and I've had to go back and resubscribe. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Mainly it happens because that person's content was of questionable nature or things to that effect, and they just felt it was improper content and they took care of it their way. But like I said, we've got 2 runs of coal going in here, which is really good. If you notice, I'm only seeing one of them moving. Notice that top one's not moving real hard. The bottom one's running, but it's not running real hard. That means your feed over here is fine, which means all your machines are getting it and your container now is full. That's a good thing. And yes, I'm anal retentive about hitting the sword button. If I look at my inventory and it's not straightened out, I get inky. I get all kinds of weird. Anyhow, everything's fine. We're running The Desert Is Your Friend. And this was episode 5. Can't wait to bring you episode 6. I think we're going to deal a little bit with project parts. What you need to get on to tiers 5 and 6. Those are fun tiers because you get a whole lot of stuff in them. And if you research the stuff that gives you the project parts and the machine to make it happen, you can progress and still skip stuff in the milestones. You don't have to follow the program, unless you're a robot, of what they want. You can set your own program. We may dabble a little bit in coal-fired electricity, just so you guys can see how it works. And I'll show you that because that's part of the vanilla game. But I'm also going to show you how to make water run fast, where you'll never run out of water. Never. You can have, when you go nuclear, you can have 6 reactors hooked up to it, up to 3 pipes, and you will never run out of water, ever. Alright, so next time we'll do a little bit of project parts. We'll go into further deep into Satisfactory, some of the new stuff that's coming out. Coffee Stain has their own website and their own YouTube. Coffee Stain's the one that makes this program, and I suggest you watch some of their videos. They're actually pretty good people over there. I mean, they put out some good quality stuff. Okay, this is Gray Wolf Gaming. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Have a good day. And night-night.